He thought he knew exactly who he was going to fight. He had it all figured out, and then the whole plan fell apart in one night. Ilia Topuria is headlining the biggest MMA event of 2026, the UFC White House card on June 14th, a massive, historic night. And he is going to defend his lightweight title against interim champion Justin Gaethje. But here is the thing, that was never supposed to be the plan. Topuria had someone else in mind, and he has now come out and admitted it publicly. So let's talk about what really happened behind the scenes, because this story is a lot more interesting than most people realize. When the UFC first announced the White House event, Topuria says he immediately knew one thing. He was going to be on that card. He felt it, he believed it, and he started thinking about who he would actually face when the night came. At the time, Justin Gaethje was booked to fight Paddy Pimblett at UFC 324 in January. And Topuria watched that matchup and made a prediction. He thought Paddy was going to win. He believed Pimblett's grappling would be too much for Gaethje to handle. So in his mind, he started mentally preparing for a different opponent. He pictured himself standing across the cage from Paddy Pimblett on the biggest stage in MMA history. Then January came, and everything changed. Instead of taking the fight to the ground and using his wrestling, Paddy Pimblett made a decision that shocked a lot of people. He chose to stand and trade with Justin Gaethje, one of the most dangerous strikers in the history of this sport. It did not go well. Gaethje controlled the fight from start to finish and walked away with a clear, unanimous decision victory. And just like that, Topuria's entire vision for June 14th was gone. He admitted it himself in a recent interview. He said he was surprised because he genuinely believed Paddy was going to win that fight. He had been telling himself all along that if Gaethje fought Pimblett, he would end up fighting the winner, and the winner was going to be Pimblett. So when Gaethje got his hand raised, Topuria had to completely reset. But here is where the story gets even more interesting, because Paddy Pimblett was not the only alternative. After Gaethje won, Topuria reportedly turned his attention toward Islam Makhachev, a super fight between the lightweight champion and the welterweight champion. Two of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet going head-to-head at the White House. It was close. Dangerously close. According to reports, talks between both sides were progressing until they collapsed just 24 hours before the official announcement was made. Now, there is some serious back and forth about why it fell apart. Makhachev's camp says Topuria priced himself out of the fight, asked for too much. Dana White came out and said that version of events is simply not true. And then Topuria's manager stepped in to defend his guy, saying the story being told does not match reality. So who is actually telling the truth? Honestly, we may never get the full picture, but what we do know is that Makhachev versus Topuria is not dead, it is just delayed. Almost everyone in the MMA world expects this fight to happen eventually, and when it does, it is going to be one of the biggest matchups this sport has ever seen. For now though, Topuria has one focus: Justin Gaethje, June 14th, the White House. And despite all the chaos, all the negotiations, all the backup plans that never came together, Topuria is exactly where he always knew he would be, standing at the center of the biggest card of the year. You really cannot write a story like this. So here is the question I want you to answer in the comments. Who do you think Topuria should fight after the White House? Is it Makhachev, or is there someone else who deserves the shot? Drop your answer below. I want to see what the community thinks. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. We cover MMA news every single week, and you do not want to miss what is coming next.